So this is West Hansen, the current chapter chair for the Texas chapter of the Explorers Club, and we're doing 2 minutes with Texas Explorers. And today I have Don Morley with me. And Don, what activities or what did you do, or what led you to be a member of the Explorers Club?
Well, I was kind of lucky. I ran into one of the first women members, Catherine Cook.
Oh yeah.
At water skiing years ago, back in the 80s, and she mentioned that, and she's been talking about ballooning over France and living in somewhere in Africa and doing some really interesting. I thought it was interesting, but I didn't know. And I'd read in National Geographic about all these interesting things people did. I thought, well, how do I do that? And at the time I was electrical engineer MBA and such, so that wasn't part of my training.
Yeah.
But I thought it really would be nice to do. And so he said, well, come to me at the Explorers Club. So I did, and I ended up talking with Bill Steele, and after a while I got, Bill Steele's a big caver, one of the world-renowned cavers. And so he invited me caving, and I went, and I thought that was kind of fun because this stuff people don't ever see. So I thought, okay, I like discovery and inventions and so on. So went caving and did some pretty deep caving, one of the deepest caves in the hemisphere, the deepest cave in the hemisphere, with Bill eventually. But also I'd done some mountain climbing, and I've been in some Olympic sports, 3 Olympic trials, and some world championship teams. So
in what area?
Something called modern pentathlon, be horse jumping, pistol shooting, fencing, swimming, and running. And you had to do them all. You can't do just one.
That's right.
So I mean, Michael Phelps could always beat me in swimming.
But let's put a pistol in his hand and see what happens.
Exactly. Yeah. It turned out I was actually really good at that. I've never been hunting, but I was really good shooting. So that worked out pretty well. It was like some world championship teams for the United States. So that was one of the reasons I wasn't part of the club. But so I ended up doing some mountain climbing. The 7 Summits was kind of cool. And one time we invited Dick Bass, who did the first guy who did the 7 Summits.
Right.
He came. He's from Dallas, so he came and talked to us in one of the chapter meetings, and I ended up being an officer of the club, and being all the various positions and such. Ended up being the chairman for a few years because somebody quit and left, so I had a bit longer than usual.
So what is it now that you've been a member for so many years? So what's your favorite thing about being a member now?
Well, now it's talking with the people who are actually doing the good stuff I used to do, because I can't do some of it, or I don't have the, whatever. I haven't done any really good stuff. I'm trying to do some underwater stuff. I did go to the Titanic one time.
That's right.
With some other explorers, and that's why I got invited, because I have my core skills are technology and such, and so I can do things others can't in that area. But also, usually I have some better endurance and conditioning than most people, so I can do some other stuff.
Well, being able to go to the Titanic is kind of a great reason.
Yeah, that was good. Yeah.
It's not something that's open to necessarily everybody.
You can pay a bunch of money and go, but I don't have a bunch of money, so
it works out.
That's the way the club works. So anyway, so as far as nowadays, I'm trying to help recover parts of an airplane that crashed in World War II, say, in the Adriatic. But pretty much I travel to interesting places, in like 130 countries now, and try to make sense of what, also my background's been some economics too, so try to make sense of the world. It doesn't make sense. It's like, why are these people doing this stuff, But anyway, there is, being there in the background, there is a sort of a reason people do these weird things.
Well,
things.
You've obviously made good connections, and you've adjusted a lot of your expeditions from your initial interests and with the connections you've made, and we really appreciate you being a member.
I really enjoy it and hope I can contribute. I say continue to contribute, but I contributed a while back and need to do some more. I was on the board, if you remember, so whatever.
Well,
but anyway.
Well, thanks. This has been 2 Minutes with Texas Explorers with Don Morley. Thanks so much, Don.
See y'all. Thank you.